Just two adjacent girls living in a lovely world. They took a podcast train going anywhere, but kind of specifically through Austin, Texas. Yeah, hook 'em horns.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome to Adjacent. Today we have Trina Martin in the house. She's a giver. And you work with the arts and education, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Gosh, I have so many questions for you.
Okay.
So where do you work in the arts and education?
Well, what I've actually done is I spent my entire career in the music products industry, working for the different music companies.
Awesome.
And then when my daughters, I actually was a percussionist and had access to just about any instrument that you could imagine.
Yeah.
And so both of my daughters became dancers. Because that's how you rebel against your mother.
Right, of course.
And so, but then I got, totally immersed into the dance world and theater, and I played drums for musicals and all that kind of stuff. And and the whole time I've been advocating through the companies I worked for music education.
That's amazing.
And then when my daughters started going through school, I started really seeing kind of some of the behind the scenes stuff that's happening in education, in our, worlds, and what is really kind of holding a lot of this stuff back.
Yeah.
And instead of going back into the industry, I decided to start my own nonprofit because I saw that there was a hole that we didn't have the parents engaged.
Right.
And we didn't have and the parents are who everybody's listening to.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But unfortunately, what I just kept discovering as I'm talking to my fellow parents and dance moms and everybody, that no one knows what's going on.
Right.
And they're just not educated on how.
Right.
So I just felt like my efforts were going to be so much better served if I could figure out a way to get, because I have a marketing background, UT.
Amazing.
And so I made sure that I kind of laugh and tell everybody I'm using my marketing skills for good.
You are, yeah.
The one thing that was really kind of missing was the kind of marketing component of how can we get everybody united kind of under one umbrella, because we had band saying one thing, and orchestra saying another, and theater saying another, and dance.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is we are all fine arts.
Yes.
And we all need to be fighting as one.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of always been the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I also saw that it's the parents.
Yeah, you have to get the parents involved.
You have to, and it wasn't, I never have run across anybody that said that arts aren't important.
Right.
Agreed.
And that this is stupid,
Yeah.
Our problem is that we really don't engage parents in the process until they're in high school, because we need them for a booster club to raise money, and they have one foot out the door.
Exactly.
And and by then you are literally preaching to the choir after they join choir.
Right.
Yes.
And so I'm like, we have a problem because
there's
we
a disconnect.
we aren't talking to the parents way early as to why this is important. And there's enough other things that are talking to them with different agendas, saying, oh no, your child will not get a job if they don't have a STEM degree.
Yeah.
Oh, they, all these things that are just not true.
That's not true.
I agree.
And unfortunately, it's scaring parents. It's freaking them out. I am the first person to admit that as a parent, especially as an elementary parent, all we are worried about is we want our kids to be happy and successful.
Right.
Yeah.
And what is the formula and what can we do to make sure that that's going to happen?
Yes.
And unfortunately, the bad news is in today's society, there's no formula.
Right.
There's no formula.
No, there's not a
gone.
linear path to a job anymore.
That's true.
It used to be you do X, Y, Z, and this will happen.
Exactly.
And now you cannot guarantee any career.
Agreed.
And we have our education system is set up right now, and it's still kind of backwards, where they're asking students in 6th grade to pick your career.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
I'm so against that.
No.
And I've heard there's a beautifully worded way of saying it, and I'm going to butcher it.
Yeah.
But it's like we're we're teaching for the future and we have no idea what the future is.
Yes.
Especially right now.
Yes.
Like, we're teaching right now for a future that we have no idea.
And also, like, so many people are stationed in the past.
Exactly. Yes.
That are teaching.
No,
I mean,
that
but
and
it is
also,
so
or
true.
making
there's
the ones that
policies.
are making the decisions,
the policies,
are saying, well, in my day, we learned reading, writing, and arithmetic, and
those are important.
No, and exactly.
But you also need a balance.
Yeah, and what they're trying to do is, unfortunately, a lot of stuff that's happening in education policy is all about what they call CCMR, which is career college military readiness.
Right.
College career military readiness. And it's about to actually get even worse with how they're about to change the school accountability ratings.
Yeah. Oh.
And so the push is that it's all career and technology education. I am not against career and technology education.
At all.
Everybody needs multiple pathways.
Right.
Well, that is part of music and art. It is a very important part of music
and art. But what
and
upsets me about it is the only thing funded by the state is career and technology education.
Right.
And so it is incentivizing more and more of those classes, push them further down into middle school, and it's pushing the arts and other things to the side.
Well, and I'm going to interrupt because
absolutely.
I've taught for 30 years. And what I noticed is the same, like the science and math. I mean, the math builds on each other, but the science, like all through elementary, was the same.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, we're going to learn about the life cycle. Now they might change it and say we're going to learn about butterflies, and then the next time it's like ducks, or the next time it's human, but it's all the same life cycle. There's not a lot of growth in the science. And then social studies, I'm like, they end up throwing that out away because they're so busy teaching the math and science and reading. But if you integrated it and added the arts and education into it, and then kids are going to get more invested with things they're interested in. Yeah. They're going to get bored when they're learning the same thing over and over again every year. So when you add the things of their interest, they're going to stay longer. They're going to be more invested. They're going to find their careers. Careers are very creative right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
very
I think
creative right now.
I just did
be creative
a TEDx talk.
And you're our first TEDxer.
I know. I'm so excited.
Yeah, congrats.
That was such a crazy process. And that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, what an experience.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. And what it really taught me was, I do think what's kind of held, this is my personal theory, what has held a lot of us arts advocates back is we tend to be in our bubble. We love to talk to each other, and we love to say, aren't we great? And you got everybody else tell, I've done a ton of public speaking in front of arts teachers, arts administrators. So me standing in front of arts administrators saying, hey, this is important, they clap their hands. This is great.
You're speaking our language.
But again, so I decided to apply to this a women's conference that had nothing to do with the arts. And I was like, we'll see if they pick me. And then I actually got selected, and I was going, wait a second, this is an issue that resonates outside of our little world, And then what's been fascinating is through the process and all the other speakers, I have at least 4 different speakers that have come up to me and said they made changes in their child's plans.
There you go.
Based on my talk.
Wow.
And one of them...
What happens here changes the world.
No, seriously.
What happens right here?
Hook 'em, bitch.
Hook 'em.
But what I loved about it, like one of them even said, she goes, thank you very much. My daughter was asking for a drum set, and I was like, no way. And I was like, after I heard you talk, I bought her a drum set.
Good job.
And I was like,
that.
yes.
Yeah.
But I said, I'll get you headphones. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what kind of inspired me and is really pushing me to try and get as much as I can outside of the arts.
Right.
People to start talking to more, because there are people in there that I have 2 different people that don't have kids yet at all. And one of them said that she literally had to have this whole long conversation with her sister, who was so worried that her son had a propensity towards science and math, but her daughter likes to just dance and sing. And oh my gosh, what's she going to do? And my friend, literally after hearing my talk, was like, no, no, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Because they're going to need human skills more than they're going to need.
Exactly.
And so what I'm hoping is if we can just change the narrative, which is not a small task, because it's very entrenched in our culture outside of our little arts bubble, that this is something that is nice to have for those that are naturally gifted.
Yeah.
And so we need to have these classes for that little percentage, just like we have to have sports for the naturally gifted runners. And we need to have, and they don't view it as something that everybody needs.
It is every need.
And that I've learned through now my third session of really paying attention and kind of lobbying a little bit at the Capitol. We have a fine arts allotment that we've been trying to get in. And this is the second time that it was in the education bill until the 11th hour. And this time it got to the Senate. And for some reason, they didn't even tell any of us in the back room. They took it out. They added more funding for CTE. And then I watched the Senate hearing. One of the senators literally said, look, fine arts people, we love fine arts. My son-in-law is a band director. We talk about this all the time. We just don't have enough money.
That's not true.
And that's when I sat there and went, okay, here's the problem. Until it is moved to essential from nice to have.
Agreed.
It's always going to be the first thing cut.
Agreed.
But it's not true.
And
by
it's
the
not
way, we do have
true.
money.
But it is.
Yeah, and we do have money. That's a whole nother podcast. Too. We will talk about that all day long. But I think the frustration is that we have multiple things we have to do.
Yeah.
Is that for sure from the top down, we have to change some of these policies. We have to get different people. We have to, whatever we need to do.
Yeah.
But I have really been trying to get people to understand that also, if we aren't pushing from the bottom up, if we aren't educating those young parents, and we aren't educating them on it is okay to have a daughter that loves to sing and dance,
Yes,
and that you want your son who might want to just sit behind a computer, you want him in a theater class.
Absolutely.
Because he has to learn how to present.
yes.
Right.
And if we don't get that point across, they're going to sit there with the counselor that is incentivized to tell them, do the one and done art class, get that elective out of the way, and here, take more CTE that we get funding for.
Yes.
And we can't fight that. That's going to take a long time to fight the funding issue. But in the meantime, if we don't make sure the demand stays there, then the numbers are going to go down. And then they're just going to sit around and say, look, no one wants to take these classes.
Well, also, if kids felt empowered and said, I want to take these classes, I want to grow, and I want to be, this is my passion, then...
And that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to empower the
I love that you're,
yes.
I love that you realize it has to come from both sides.
It has to come from both sides.
It has to, Jody taught at Zilker, and it was very well-rounded with art for a long time. And then that changed. And because of the push from above, but the community is very artistic, lots of musicians and stuff in the area. It just
changed. They've run out of, they can't afford to live in the area. Like
100%. And I think that there's so many different angles to it, because we also have a big problem with students not going into education, not going into fine arts education, not getting art degrees, because they are being told, oh, there's no jobs.
Right.
And in reality,
there's jobs.
There are plenty of jobs, but also right now, like I start the TEDx talk talking about sitting in an elementary school. I'm up in Round Rock. This is Cactus Ranch, which is one of the top elementary schools in Central Texas. The room is packed. They get in front of us and say, your child will not have a job if they don't have a STEM degree.
That's not true.
And the entire room panics. This was 10 years ago. If you think about it, 10 years now, those kids are graduating college.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know exact statistics, but I do know that there are more than 50% of the computer science students graduating right now are not getting jobs.
They're not finding jobs.
And so if you had listened to that person and you had built your child's entire education system where you did nothing but, computer science all day long, and you did only, internships around computer science and blah, 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 then, they're one-sided.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm trying to say is I'm saying, because my own daughter is actually at UT right now.
Yes.
She's a senior. She got into a 50-person honors program in neuroscience.
Wow.
And she was on the drill team around our high school and triple blocked dance.
Wow.
And took 7 years of dance and theater. All of her electives were pretty much dance or theater. And she did take the required science and math classes. She did take all AP, so that's how she got in. But she didn't need the extra.
Right.
And I fought with every counselor every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they kept telling me she's not going to get in. She's not going to get, if she's going for science, no, she shouldn't be dancing. She definitely shouldn't be an officer. That takes another class. And I'm like, no. And if anything, she got this program because of the dance.
Being well-rounded.
And that's just not the message.
Well, also,
it's not the message.
What arts, music, visual arts, dancing, acting, what it does for the soul.
Yeah.
And helps kids to express themselves, but hopefully helps also with levels of depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
If you allow them to make those choices that feed their soul, then they might be able to build other, their potential in the future at a much better rate. Like, you have to think of it in such a bigger, broader thing. You can't just get so micro, focused on
and have to make the decision when somebody's 12.
Exactly.
When somebody's 12.
No, it's ridiculous. And
I'm
what
55
I think is,
and I don't know what I'm going to do.
I literally say that all the time. I'm like, I'm still
am I
waiting
gonna
to
do
figure out what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And what the message that we have to try and get across to these parents, and I'm really hoping that I can maybe get on some young parent podcasts or some other things to be able to get in front of them to talk about how it's the skill set that is going to be absolutely crucial is going to be resilience.
And
grit.
problem solving.
And
grit. And you learn all of that in all of those other programs.
And you only learn that when it's especially in classes that you get the same teacher year after year.
Oh, yeah. So you're doing you're
if you're
basically
doing
the
theater,
same. Yes.
Then you're going to have that same theater teacher for 4 years.
To help you grow and change.
Which means you're going to be different from your freshman year than you were your senior year.
Yeah, so true.
Freshman year, you might have been scared to death to get on the stage. By senior year, they can't pull you off.
Right.
But that can't happen in an English classroom when they ask you once to present your paper.
Yeah.
That's not going to teach that skill.
No.
And it's also when you don't get the part. That's one of the biggest lessons. When you don't, when you didn't make officer and you still have to stay on the team and be a team player. And it's the same with sports too, you know.
Agreed.
But the extra component that sports doesn't do is I feel like in the arts, you have to deliver in one shot.
Right.
And there aren't bench warmers. It's
true.
And so the entire band is sitting on that stage.
Yeah.
And everybody has to play their part. And you have to play it right then.
Well, and I think you're speaking, Trina, to the fact, and I'm stealing the term from one of our other podcasts on Shody Media, but the singularity movement is only going to get us so far.
Mm-hmm.
We have to learn to work as a team. And even on sports teams, but in the arts, you're working as a team.
Yeah.
You're having to solve problems. AI is only going to get us so far because ultimately we have to use our human skills to build human connections. And did we not learn anything from COVID? How much we need each other.
I know. No, I mean, it's shocking.
Shocking.
And I think so much of it is, as I talk to people and as I talk to fellow parents, we actually get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So much of the problem is we aren't in control. The people that are making the decisions, are,
Well, they're bottom lining it.
Well,
they're looking at
they're
looking at the money, and they're not looking at the human aspect of it, because maybe in their souls they're not connecting with their humanity.
Yeah.
But connecting with your humanity is what makes us so unique.
I know. Well, and
art does that.
No, 100%. And what I've talked a lot with fellow arts advocates too, where there's so many things, there's so many angles on why arts are important. I mean, we've had the statistics forever.
Oh, forever.
Yes.
But for some reason that hasn't resonated. We've known that it hits your heart and that it builds you as a human forever, and that really hasn't resonated.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of coming in trying to explain to my fellow arts advocates that right now, the issue that if you really look at what our decision makers are dealing with, it is all about workforce readiness. And guess what? We solve that too.
You do?
Yes.
You do.
And
That's what needs to be said.
Yes.
Because the job of schools is to prepare people for
the workforce.
employment.
Yeah.
And so they need to hear that this is a job.
Yeah.
And look at social media. How many people in their 50s are now digital creators? It is the arts that's happening.
That for sure. But then also what I'm trying to really tap into is
the resilience
to get, the head of the Dell Medical School.
Yeah.
Were you involved in the arts, and how much did that contribute to your success to get through medical school?
Yeah.
So it's really getting people that are actually not directly involved and have jobs in the arts, but going, wait a second, but it was my experience in arts education that made me who I am.
Yeah.
And we have never really
that.
tapped into those people and said, that's the voice we need to hear from.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need to hear. I've had plenty of people that are like, oh my gosh, you need to reach out to McConaughey or to all the people that live here in Austin, the artists. There's a million amazing artists in Austin. And I'm like,
no,
those really aren't the voices that I need. Because people hear that and go, yeah, that's the 10% that are naturally gifted. And yes, you need the art class. It is the person that, is a amazing doctor in town and can say, I'm a doctor because
I was in
discipline
band.
I learned.
I was in band.
Exactly.
And in my free time, I knit. And in my free time, I...
Exactly. And what keeps me sane is when I come home and pick up a guitar.
Yeah.
It's those people that we need to start speaking up.
Oh, that's a great story.
Because that's good. I think that's the only thing that in this day and age is going to change the narrative.
I agree.
Are there any states that see this as essential?
So here's the real problem, because I've actually talked to some national, arts advocates that are people I've known forever, and they're like, why in the world are you starting this in Texas?
Yeah.
Because Texas has some of the best fine arts programs in the nation.
Agreed.
Because we have a graduation requirement.
Yeah.
And that's something that happened. It's House Bill 5, and I can't remember what year it was. But that made all the difference.
Yeah.
However, we still have the structure. Because if you look at California just passed Proposition 28, I guess in 2022, and it is where a percentage of taxes specifically go to fine arts education. It was a huge win. And then they found out 11% of the schools in California, only 11% offer fine arts at all.
So those 11% just
they are having to.
That's where all the money goes?
Yeah. No, so the money is sitting there. And they are having to go and
develop
people to go into teaching,
to take the money,
education and everything.
Because all the educators left and moved to Texas. So the reality is, if we wait until we have a real problem, you're not bringing it back.
Right.
And so it is better to get this established and get this and fight it here.
In Texas,
to keep it.
Well, and to say,
and there's a structure.
We got it in Texas.
No.
That speaks volumes.
And then because we still have booster clubs, we still have structure, we still have ways to reach parents.
Yeah.
we have examples, then we can turn around and set the stage of this is what it looks like, and then go to other states and say, do this. Yeah. This is what we did in Texas. This is the model. Yep. This is, and so that's a lot of what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get the structure so that
get the system down.
And what I've done is, I mean, I've developed, we've got branding, we've got, I've got like stickers and buttons that I'll say like fine arts builds human skills, those kind of things. And then we're reaching out to like, I'm leaving here tomorrow to go to the Dance Educators Association and talk to those teachers and say, hey, your booster clubs, they need to come on board. Yeah. Here's all the material. Yeah. Here's the talking points. Here's how you do this, so that we just empower them to be able to take the ball and run with it, because this has to be a grassroots thing.
Yes.
It's not going to work if it's just me in Central Texas every 2 years testifying at the state legislature.
Agreed. Agreed.
And so that's kind of the structure. That's what I've built, and it's mostly because I'm a crazy person.
Well, but you lived it. Yeah. You basically, you were in band all your life. You were in percussion.
Well, what I just recently listened to your podcast that you guys did on your dad. Literally was like almost crying because I'm an Air Force brat. And so the real reason why I'm so crazy about this is my dad was a full colonel, command when I was in high school. And so I went to 3 different high schools in 3 different states.
Oh my God.
Illinois, Virginia, and California. So the coast. I mean, it was everywhere. But what saved me was band.
Yes.
I had all of my friends. I had all of that set up in the summer before school ever started.
Listen to that, military parents.
Yeah.
Holy moly. I didn't even think of that.
No. And so
to walk in and be third chair and flute,
No, exactly.
It's like that's, I mean.
And so that 100% saved me. And then watching my own children, because we lived in Colorado for a brief stint, because I was so tired of the heat. And then, of course, the reality is you can live in a mountain town for so long, but the jobs are actually in Austin. Yeah. And so we moved my own daughter her freshman year to here. And her first day of school was Round Rock Homecoming.
Oh, wow.
She walks into the building and she's like, mums everywhere. So that was crazy.
Wow.
But that's a culture shock.
Total culture shock. But then she immediately tried it out for the drill team.
Oh, I love it.
Now, I kept trying to explain to her Texas drill team is a little different than Colorado dance team.
Yes.
So she immediately didn't make it. But she tried out again, and she fought me when I tried to get her to go into color guard. She's like, nope.
She wanted to do drill team.
She wanted to do drill team. And I was like, all right, fine. But I've got all these connections in color guard, but okay. And so she went, and then she made it the next year. And that ended up being her college essays, got her into everywhere, throwing her mother under the bus about how she, opposed me and went for drill team. But it just made me see how much this is just crucial.
It's critical.
And how easily, and this is what Texas parents kind of don't understand, how fast it can go away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is they're just sitting there going, what do you...
I'm sorry. If you're confused about how fast this can go away, go to Burger Stadium.
Yes.
Go look at Burger Stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, it is nothing.
Well, that's also Robin Hood.
No, I know. I know that too. Yeah.
And $1 billion of your dollars you guys are all going.
Because you guys are from
Austin.
We all went to AISD schools, but
I think my husband went to Crockett, so
he did.
Yeah.
What year?
He graduated in 87.
Okay, yeah. A little older than us.
Yeah.
Barely.
But when $1 billion of your tax dollars go...
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
Oh, don't even
go to every other district around you.
Here's the deal, though.
$1 billion.
Does everybody realize that money doesn't go into an education fund?
It sits.
It goes into the general fund. And they can spend it on anything.
Or people hide it from, put it in a little area that you can't get to. And I'm like, wait, y'all keep saying, let's raise taxes for schools. They're not getting it. AISD's not getting it.
Well, AIC is not getting it, but also it's not even at least going to another school that needs it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And so that's the frustrating part is that, you can kind of say, okay, fine, I get it. We're a property-rich district. We need to help. But if it's not even doing that,
well,
then
it's not sustainable.
Well, there's so many issues with it. Because when people can't even change their houses, then that tax base gets lower. Then you lose funding.
Yeah.
It's just so much bigger than people think. And they're not willing, they're only willing to look at the cusp of it. They're not looking deep. And so you are looking deep into it. And arts and education are vital.
They're vital.
They're vital.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, so many times I've seen kids that maybe they didn't have all the reading and writing skills, but they were a master at the computer. They are master at guitar. They're master at learning. They were artists, or they were great in sports. Education, it's not just one aspect.
Well,
it's
and
building
Jody
the whole child,
I
child.
And Jody, as a teacher, would go, "Oh, you like the guitar? Let me relate all these things that you're having trouble
to.
100%.
To the
this
guitar.
helps you regulate? Here's a guitar.
Yeah.
Go over there and fiddle with the guitar.
So I actually heard, and this is a study that I haven't been able to totally go in and verify, but I heard a reliable source say it, that a long time ago, when they first started mapping brains and they saw neuroplasticity. So they saw the arc when you learn something new.
Yes.
And that arc goes away if you don't reinforce it.
Yes.
Except music.
Well,
which there's a reason why we can remember songs from our childhood.
Yes.
And I could not pass an algebra test right now to save my life.
No way.
So smart. So smart.
Her mother-in-law is in her late 80s.
She has dementia.
And she can play.
I know.
She can play all day long. She can play the piano beautifully.
And so, to me, why we are not making everything in education about music, just put it on to music and we're going to remember it, and it's because we haven't valued the teachers that could do that.
Yes.
We haven't valued the music teachers.
You have to value the music and art teachers, and they keep squeezing their time down.
No. Let's have more PE.
Making it special. Which it's not special. It's essential.
It's we call it essential.
And it's a TEKS-based class.
Yes, it is.
And according to the TEA code, it is not extracurricular.
It's not.
It is essential.
It's essential.
But for some reason, that's not what is happening, and that's not what people think.
In Central Texas, do you see because I can think of a couple of campuses where I'm like, okay, y'all got it, y'all figured it out. Have you seen anybody doing it really well?
Oh gosh, Central Texas has some of the best.
I agree.
So they're for sure. But
Highland Park Elementary.
I know exactly. No, those Highland Park parents though. Because I was down at the Capitol when they were performing, and man, it was awesome. No, for sure. There's those pockets. What you can look at is it comes to who's funding it. They have really strong booster parents.
They do.
The same with, where I live, I feed into Round Rock High School.
They also have,
if you have a principal that believes in it as well.
100%.
Yeah. And they have administrators that believe in it.
And that's the other thing that I'm trying to work on, is that if you can get the administrators to be behind it. So the schools that I live in and I feed in, Cactus Ranch Elementary.
Yes.
I did a little bucket drumming thing for after school program for a while. That principal was so into it.
Yeah.
And bucket drumming is complicated and loud. And she was like, yes. And then I had one of the students that wanted to play for the talent show. And what I loved is before all the parents went back to this talent show, the principal pulled them all together and said, we are a campus that focuses on the skill of performing.
Yeah.
And we make sure, and so this is part of that.
Yes.
And I was like, yes, and then Cactus Ranch feeds into Walsh. Walsh has one of the top middle school bands in the nation.
Yeah.
And then it feeds into Round Rock High School, which has a JV marching band.
Yeah.
So I live in an area that trying to get those parents organized, they're like, what are you talking about? We have a JV marching band. Yeah. However, talk to the choir teachers, where in Round Rock High School, they cut half the choir teachers.
Oh, wow.
And across Round Rock ISD, choir got decimated a couple years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
And it makes no sense.
Lift up every voice, every opportunity for somebody to shine in some form.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to say, okay, we have this huge group of band parents that are super active and powerful. Guess what? If we were actually organized with the theater parents, the choir parents, the orchestra parents, and then when we found out that the teacher was going to cut choir, and we all showed up.
Yes.
They are going to cut choir?
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, and so that's the point.
Everybody knows not to mess with band.
Parents
gotta organize and mobilize.
And so, and if we just fight for the whole big picture instead of the pieces of the pie.
Agreed.
Then, you know, and if you think about how many fine arts parents, you know, just thinking around our ISD, we outnumber everybody.
That's huge, yes.
Same in AISD.
Agreed.
They outnumber everybody.
Agreed. And I'm a special ed parent, and we tried to do the same thing as bring everybody together. They did not want us to be together. They did not want. But we were also very divisive within our own group because it was like, okay, there's only $5. We want the $5.
Yeah.
And so
you have to think big picture.
No,
exactly.
and that's been a little bit of the problem within arts is that they've pitted arts against each other forever.
Exactly, forever and ever.
And
they do the same thing with sports.
Yeah.
And
so my argument with all the teachers is I'm like, before 6th grade, it is all about fine arts as a whole. And all of us need to be talking and together as one big group.
Yes.
And then you guys can all fight amongst yourselves at that 6th grade level.
Yeah.
You know, for the big, huge pie that we gave you.
Right.
But if you keep fighting for your little slivers, it stays tiny.
It just stays,
You know, and so that's where I'm like, you guys have got to get. So there's, I mean, it comes from all different angles, but it really has to do with bringing everybody together, having one voice, and having one message.
Yeah.
Right.
And right now, the message is fine arts builds human skills.
It does.
Right. Oh,
you know?
I love that.
And that's the message. And if we just drill it and stay focused.
Oh, that's so powerful.
And then just by saying fine arts builds human skills, you're talking about how it builds the soft stuff and it builds the hard stuff and it builds the, you know. And so
good.
And in the age of AI, we got to have human skills.
Absolutely.
You know, and then even talking to these parents, you know, I can't guarantee a particular job. You can absolutely push your child towards the engineering route, but you better make sure that they also have the human skills so they get the job and keep the job.
Yes.
You know, because that's what you hear.
Because they can have micro focus and not be able to see the global part.
Yeah.
Your marketing tag.
I know.
I'm like, brilliant.
Yeah. Hashtag fine arts builds human skills.
I love
we just
that.
need to just have it go crazy.
Yeah.
And like I've literally heard so many people like CEOs talk about how we hire for tech skills and fire for soft skills. So if we just shift it to its human skills, you know, it's like just make sure that people get that.
It's so important what you're saying.
Wow.
It's so important because I was, again, listening to this podcast and he was saying, so we're putting so much on AI, but would you want an AI coming to you and saying, you have cancer? Or what if there was an actual human trying to connect with you and has that human connection when you're dealing with hard news? And his belief is as much as we're going to stray away, unfortunately, in these art things where people are just, you know, you can put in AI and just art it up real quick, it's not going to be the same. But what he was saying is you're going to want that human connection all the time. And so I think really focusing on bringing that art up because it does build the human skills.
Yeah.
It helps you to be resilient. It helps you to work as a team. It helps you to problem solve. It helps you have a common goal and to understand that your presence there is needed to make it work.
100%. That is excellent. No, I love that.
Yeah.
What I'm really trying to hone in on as well is it's the deliver in one shot.
Right. Deliver in one shot.
You have to have an interview.
Yeah.
That's delivering in one shot.
Right.
Yeah.
we all have times in our lives where you have to.
Right.
And if we never train that skill, that's where they fail. They don't get the job. They don't get the, because they were never taught. And I'm sorry, group projects in an academic classroom, we all know the person that wants the A does all the work, agrees to do the presentation, and
is also the drum major, by the way.
Exactly. 100%. Absolutely. I know. And so, and that's just what.
Well, what you were talking about resonates with us so much. I think arts, connection.
Thank you. Wow.
Because our whole theme in Adjacent is connection.
Yeah.
And I think the arts connects people with our human nature. It also helps with anxiety and depression. Do the research.
Do the research, yeah.
Do the research.
It's all out there.
It's all out there. It also can give you muscle memory for when you get into your older age. It's those lessons from your past that can build you into the human of your future. So everything you're doing is exactly what we are about. So
we're all about it.
And we'd love to interview your daughters.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And hear their
I
passion.
can't guarantee what they'd say. But,
that's okay. That's okay.
No. Actually, my my youngest Kathy, she's got some really interesting experiences with, the
But
STEM
I just
world.
think it's like what you're doing is
so powerful.
What we need right
Thank
now.
you.
Okay, before we let you go.
Yeah.
What's your favorite music genre?
Oh, gosh. So you will crack up because you know how
she's like 50 sitting.
I know. No, it's death metal. No.
Yeah.
I obviously like it all. I like anything with a beat because I'm a drummer.
Yeah.
But my Spotify list, at the end of the year was hilarious and said that my age was like 78.
Same. Same. As
so
like
it's all classic. It's all which is sad because now our stuff from the 80s is oldies.
Yeah.
Rude.
Exactly. But I teach a water aerobics dance class.
Nice.
And so that's really the music that I'm playing all the time.
I love it.
And so
where do you
that's
teach?
What keeps me sane.
Where do you teach?
Up at the Y in Round Rock.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So
lovely.
9:30 on Wednesdays. Come to my dance class.
Wednesday. I love that.
And
I love water aerobics.
It's me making a total fool out of myself. And
who cares?
You know what?
Because we all need a dance party to start your day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I love that you met Erica Nix.
Yes.
You have to look her up.
I know.
You're gonna die.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's
she's
the one
the
thing.
female Richard Simmons.
Oh, no. She and I, we were briefly talking about that as we were walking in.
Yeah.
No, I think that's what I just love so much about Austin.
I know.
Is that just Austin celebrates just all of this.
All of
we
it.
do. We do.
And
we're so lucky.
I just want to make sure that our education system matches it.
Matches our vibe. Matches our
exactly.
vibe.
And also the reality that so many people are moving into this area that are not from this area. They're not from this country.
Yeah.
Right.
Which means they don't know what they don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so if we're not telling them that marching band is a good experience, they've never seen it. Exactly. They don't know what it is.
They didn't know what a mum was.
Yeah, they don't know. Exactly. Luckily, I did,
Yeah.
And luckily, my daughter had already looked on Instagram, so she was like, yes, mums.
I'm in.
She was all in.
That's hilarious.
Trina, you are sharing the good news.
Oh, thank you.
The good fight. Keep doing the good fight.
Yeah.
And please tag us on everything.
Everything.
Oh, I
we want
will.
to be there.
Yes.
Please. We are all about public education.
And anyone out there, help me figure out how to get outside of my arts bubble to be able to talk to other people. So
exactly.
Yes,
any opportunities to talk.
Anybody out there that knows a CEO of any type of company that was also in the band or theater or
dance,
please share it with us because that's a very, very
I think it actually
important.
Everything you're saying resonates 100.
Yeah, we're gonna pull it. We're gonna pull it.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah.
See,
no, that would be fun.
Did fine arts get you to where you are today?
Yeah.
And the answer is yes.
I've had so many people that are like, "Oh yeah, you're right." just making you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you for coming all this way, and thank you for sharing all of your amazing message. And we will put all of your contacts at the bottom of our podcast. And is there a place that people can get a hold of you if they...
Actually, just through the website, parentsforartseducation.org.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you heard it here.
Bravo.
Texas, Texas.
Fine arts builds human skills.